当亚洲这么多国家都在排碳，而美国甚至一度退出了巴黎气候协定。印度说它要到2040到2045年才要碳达峰，中国本来是说2030，印度还要到2040，甚至到2045。一般承诺这只会往后延，没有办法落实。就好像今年我们所看到的最美丽的莱茵河畔，也是整个德国最昂贵的居住地区之一，它可以一场洪水，所有的家园都没了。而加州的野火烧掉的人在山脉上面，居高临下看海，最美丽的房子，这些都是属于富国自己在所有过去工业革命的过程、全球暖化的过程里头，人民承受的痛苦。但你知道吗？在一个非洲，我们觉得像童话故事般的一个国家叫马达加斯加，它每一年排碳量在全世界比例占不到0.001%，它却承受所有这些国家。我为了保经济，我为了保民生，我为了我的石油业的利益，我为了我们共和党很多人的理念，我为了这个，我为了那个，他们承受了很可怕的现在的旱灾跟饥荒。在马达加斯加这个地方，气候饥荒，人们已经到了用蝗虫和仙人掌果腹的处境。同样是人类，他们却是如此活着。他们做错了什么？他们没有做错任何的事情。在这样的情况里头，我们也看到了阿富汗的塔利班革命，它只是拜登的问题，只是美国的问题，只是阿富汗战争的问题吗？事实上，从当时阿拉伯之春之前，包括叙利亚内战，这个地区已经长期处于干旱，而干旱不会只在中东，不会只在非洲，它将来也会到很多南欧地区。让我们来看马达加斯加气候干旱的例子。
被美国遗弃的阿富汗人民过得还好吗？
Among its residents, 9-year-old Parwana. Her bright pink dress squeals of laughter and childhood games, a ruse to the horrors unfolding in this unhospitable environment. Parwana's family moved to this camp in Baghdis province 4 years ago after her father lost his job. Humanitarian aid and menial work, earning $3 a day, providing the basic staples to survive. But since the Taliban takeover 2.5 months ago, any money or assistance has dried up. And with 8 mouths to feed, Parwana's father is now doing the unthinkable. I have no work, no money, no food. I have to sell my daughter, he says. I have no other choice. Parwana, who dreams of going to school and becoming a teacher, applies makeup. A favourite pastime for little girls, but Parwana knows she is preparing for what awaits her. My father has sold me because we don't have bread, rice and flour. He has sold me to an old man. The white-bearded man who claims he's 55 years old comes to collect her. He's bought Parwana for 200,000 Afghanis, just over $2,000 US. Covered up, Parwana whimpers as her mother holds her. This is your bride, please take care of her, says Parwana's father. Of course I will take care of her, replies the man. His large hands grab her small frame. Parwana tries to pull away. As he carries her only bag of belongings, she again resists, digging her heels into the dirt. But it's futile. The fate of this small, helpless child has been sealed. According to the UN, more than half the population doesn't know where their next meal is coming from. And more than 3 million children under the age of 5 face acute malnutrition in the coming months. And while $1 billion has been pledged by UN donors to help the Afghan people, less than half those funds have been received as the international community holds off recognising the Taliban government.
People of Afghanistan will be dying of hunger in the next couple of months, and not just a few. And we cannot accept that.
而他们没有战乱，没有冲突，却因为全世界的人，包括你我，被逼入绝境。
This is what climate change looks like. The Manambova River in Madagascar, or what's left of it now. A brown ribbon on a parched landscape. After 5 years with barely any rain, more than 1 million people in the south are facing severe hunger or starvation.
非洲东岸的岛国马达加斯加正站在近代历史上全球第一次因气候变迁引发了饥荒的悬崖边。
It's 7 times worse than it was just a year ago. 7 times more children are in trouble. Why? Because of drought. We're facing the worst drought in over 40 years.
原本的万亩良田只剩黄沙，土地长不出作物，人们只能以仙人掌果腹，甚至以昆虫为食。马西采集仙人掌的手没有停过。他说，他才8个月大的孙子前几天死了，吃仙人掌吃死的。
Ivoa mi viki ngate tu atua mi viki le ni fenu resa tia ni hinanga beilua tele ni fenu tekitia le.
The medics' measuring tapes tell a simple truth.
量尺上的红色代表严重的营养不良。
According to the United Nations, 130,000 children are now severely malnourished, and 28,000 people will face famine by the end of the year.
Climate change is killing. And Malalaza is one of Madagascar's younger victims. She's barely got the strength to turn her head. She's the weight of a typical newborn. She's actually a year and 2 months old, with few reserves to fight disease. She's now got tuberculosis, but is too weak to cry and protest very much. And this is a country which basically gets around on this, carts. Not many of them, in comparison to the population, have access to cars. They don't even have access to electricity. Only about 15% of the country have access to electricity. So they're one of the lowest emitters of carbon emissions in the world. And yet they are the country which is really feeling the most impact.
In fact, Madagascar produces less than 0.01% of global carbon dioxide emissions.
Madagascar is battling after years of failed or poor crops caused by this extended dry period. And this aid is their only hope of survival.
That the billionaires need to step up now on a one-time basis, $6 billion to help 42 million people that are literally going to die if we don't reach them. It's not complicated.
David Beasley there singling out Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk. Musk is the world's richest man. The Bloomberg Billionaires Index puts his net worth, John, at $311 billion. That fortune grew $9.3 billion just last Friday alone in one day.
And this is what's heartbreaking. I'm not asking them to do this every day, every week, every year. We have a one-time crisis, a perfect storm of conflict, climate change, and COVID. It's a one-time phenomenon.
In response, Musk tweeted this: if WFP can describe on this Twitter thread exactly how $6 billion will solve world hunger, I will sell Tesla stock right now and do it. He added that it must be open source accounting so that the public can see where the money is going.
And I will show him, we will put it out in front of him. We have all the cost accounting, public transparency, any and everything that he would ask. We will be glad to answer, and I look forward to having this discussion with him because lives are at stake. I'm not picking on Elon Musk. I'm so happy that he's making money. But as you know, during the height of COVID, billionaires made extraordinary amounts of money. Governments are tapped out. We got people dying, and we've got an answer to this. And please help us on this one-time ask. Please help us.
You okay? Okay. Listen up, people. I know a thing or two about extinction. And let me tell you, and you'd kind of think this would be obvious, going extinct is a bad thing. And driving yourselves extinct In 70 million years, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. At least we had an asteroid. What's your excuse? You're headed for a climate disaster, and yet every year governments spend hundreds of billions of public funds on fossil fuel subsidies. Imagine if we had spent hundreds of billions per year subsidizing giant meteors. That's what you're doing right now. Think of all the other things you could do with that money. Around the world, people are living in poverty. Don't you think helping them would make more sense than, I don't know, paying for the demise of your entire species? Let me be real for a second. You've got a huge opportunity right now. As you rebuild your economies and bounce back from this pandemic, this is humanity's big chance. So here's my wild idea. Don't choose extinction. Save your species before it's too late. It's time for you humans to stop making excuses and start making changes. Thank you.
谢谢你收看今天文茜的世界周报亚洲版和欧洲版，以及我们今天最重要的专题。这个专题为您而做，为您的下一代而做，为子孙而做。希望我们所有的人共同努力。感谢，明天见。